Hello, and welcome to Color Commentary. I'm TJ, your average fan, and I'll be talking to you today about Marvel's show, Miss Marvel, Episode 5. And we're going to get right into it. Spoilers! Okay. Yeah, this was a pretty slow episode. It was informative. We spent a lot of time in Pakistan during the partition. It showed Kamala's great-grandmother, Aisha, and how she met her great-grandfather. And she was, I don't know what she was doing, but she was just traveling around. He was a freedom fighter, basically, with a bum leg. And they ended up meeting each other. She was sleeping in his rose garden. And they met, talked, got to liking each other, and clearly got married and got pregnant with her grandmother. During that time, the years went by. She was about maybe 5 or 6, when the partition finally hit, because it went from 42 to 45. So we got a couple of years of them being together, just peacefully living in a home, until the partition happened and they started to run because the other lady came looking for her, and they found out where she was at, and they looking for the bracelet. And she like, I told you I was, I'll give it to you. Turns out she was on the run. She was trying to leave with her family. All she wanted to do was be with her family. And it also turns out through all of that it was the other lady that killed her great-grandmother, because she didn't want to give them the bracelet and help them get back home. Well, it turns out that it was time travel, not a vision. Kamala was actually there, and she actually helped her great-grandmother to find her great-grandfather, and she saw the Trail of Stars. It was awesome. At first I thought they weren't going to show it, but they did, and I was very glad. Then she finally went back. Meanwhile, her mother is looking for her. She'd been disappeared all this time. Then her cousins told her mother about tracking her phone, because they on the same plan, and so they did that and found out where she was. And by the time they got there, they was coming out of the past, seeing everything, and the rift had opened to the other dimension, to the Nord dimension. And so one of the jinn tried to go through it, got disintegrated immediately. And so it was clear that this wasn't the way to go. But the other lady, I can't think of her name right now, said she wasn't going to give up trying. And so she went through, and Kamala tried to, convince her to stay. All that my great-grandmother wanted was to be with her family. You got Cameron, why don't you just stay, go get him? And she like, no, I'm going. This is the only way I can save him. And she called his name, sent out some kind of energy as she got disintegrated trying to go through the portal. And he ended up getting hit with this energy, and he has powers activated. Kind of cool. I liked it. So, by the way, he didn't ran to Bruno because he didn't know where else to go after they escaped from the DODC. And talking to him, getting to know him, it turns out he really didn't know his name, thought his name was Brian. But now you know his name is Bruno. And they starting to get attacked by the DODC. So that's how the episode went off. But Kamala and her grandmother and her mother all made up with each other. Her mother finally saw, because they did find her, where she was at, what the energy was, what the power was, and that everything that her mother had been talking about was real, and that Kamala has something to do with it now. So all of that's been established in this episode. It was good to see, a lot of what India and then, looked like then, and how people were being treated by the British, and all of what those people were going through. It wasn't great. All they wanted to do was live their life, have their own land, or where they were in the first place. But here come these colonizers come to tell them that they need to be better, and we got better, and we are better. Humans, we are all the same. No one's better than anyone else. I wish we would finally understand that. After hundreds of thousands of years of existence, we're still trying to say one is better than the other. It doesn't work that way. And if you're a believer in God, then you should know that we're all equals. And he's the only one that's above. I'm just saying. So that was this week's episode of Miss Marvel. Like I said, it was short, sweet, pretty much spent most of the time in the past until the very end. And it's pretty much going to be a combination of what we saw in the trailers for this last episode next week, where she's going to be trying to help Cameron protect him and hopefully she'll have a full suit by then. So I want to see her in her full suit and what she's gonna be wearing in the Marvels, the movie she's gonna be in with Captain Marvel and Maria Rambeau, aka Photon. Okay, so I will see you guys next week for the final episode of Miss Marvel. See you then. Have a great day.